Shalom IT lovers of my classes, welcome to MySQL Workbench Part 1. After data analysis, with CSV, HTML, SQL, and, RMD on RStudio, today we want to start another data science programming language. And I'm telling you, this one is so important to know how. Let's create our own database to begin with, and some tables, and of course insert some data inside. Let's start. Of course, if you are a beginner, you will have to install MySQL Workbench. It's not complicated to do. You can find the website and download the app on your laptop or computer, on your desktop, and then you can start. Okay, here this is how it looks like, and database is really important. And as I said, this programming language is not easy. I remember giving you the definition in SQL definition while we were doing our flower.sql on RStudio, but I'm gonna just say it for free again, because we never know who's watching, who is learning with me right now. SQL stands for Structured Query Language, and it's a programming language, as I said, for storing and processing information in a relational database. So we are going to create a normalized database right now. Let's start. Okay, as I said, this one needs a lot of focus. Okay, here we have opened a new file. So you go by a file. You don't have to go by file. You go by the first symbol right here, SQL plus, and then you get your first file. Here on MySQL Workbench, we already have some database created, like Sequila, Sys, and Well. This one is mine. Work for God. So I have already, of course, trained before, and now we are going to create our first own database. And the way you do it is, here I'm going to give always a comment, because comments are important, like everywhere. And this is how you do the comment here on MySQL. Let's put my tutorial number 1 like this. This is how you do the comment. So the dashes are in front and in the back. Okay, and here we are going to get create, and this is the command create, simply like this, database. This is for those who are beginning, and you need to give a name to it. So we are going to call it DB. Let's put it like this: DB Tuto, database tutorial. This is the title I'm going to give. Okay, this is how you create it. Once you have typed your command, you have to just run. So you execute. You choose this one. You don't choose this one. Is going to tell you anyway what it is. Execute the selected portion of the script, but we want to execute the statement under the keyboard cursor. Okay, I press here, and then here down here you have your output appearing. If you want to make it bigger, you have to catch this one, and you pull it up. And here, when it's green is good. When it's red, it means you have a problem. Okay, once you have created here, you always make sure you want to come and refresh by the schema. Once you refresh, this is not the one. This is the one we are doing right now. So you select it because you want to use it. So the best is to do set as default schema. You have to do it so you can work on your created database. Okay, this is our database, DB Tuto, and we want to create, of course, some tables, but this is how you create your database. Once you have created it, now, as I said, you set it as default schema. Let me comment that, so just in case somebody is really seriously with me, because I make it really easy to understand. Default schema. All right. So once you have done that, you can start creating your first table. Create table like this. And here we want to, usually people, they will create a table called employee or customers or things like that because it's easier for example. So we are going to do the same. We are going to create a table called customers. Okay, the way you create it is like this, and it's a pattern that you will always have to follow. So usually you need an ID, so customer ID, and you want to add some properties. So this one is going to be int, you make it unique, and primary key, and we want to auto increment, and we have to get a comma here. Anyway, when it's red, it means something is wrong. So right here, something is missing. Customer ID int unique primary key auto increment is just because it's not finished. Okay, so we want to add something like customer last name, and this one we want varchar. Varchar means it's going to be letters, not numbers. So 50. We're gonna get it 50 right here, and then a comma again, and we want a customer first name, and this one too is going to be varchar, letters. If you don't put the properties, it's not going to work. That's why we put them. It's not for fun. Customer email. We want an email, and this one too, and we put varchar, and a little longer, so I'm going to put here 100, and comma, and let's finish with the customer phone number. Let's say I'm just going to put phone NR and varchar. Phone number is varchar. It should be int, of course, for me, in my logic, but it's a varchar. On SQL, this is like this. On my work, on my SQL Workbench, it's just like that. Okay, and then we make sure we respect the amount of parentheses, opening and closing, and then at the end a semicolon. Once you have done that, you make sure you don't have any typo or else it's not going to work. So create table customers, and this is what we want. We have an ID in int, a last name, first name, email, and phone number, all in varchar for the rest. Okay, now we run this one to create our table. And it's good, we have created our table. All right, we have our first table. Okay, we can make sure you always refresh your schema, and then you can see your table. Okay, this is our table, customer, and when you click on it, you can see also that we have the column. You know, it's getting bigger and bigger. And here, if you want to see everything, of course, you can expand. All right. So now you want to see the visibly your table. So how do you do it? You go here. I'm gonna comment that one and say viewing your table, your new table. This is a command. Select all, the name of your table, customers. Okay, this is how you all the time you want to see your table, view what's inside. This is the command. It's a star here. Select a star, which means all from customers. Okay, and then you execute. And once you execute, you can see that you have created a table indeed. Now that you have created your table, you want to put something inside. You want some content. Okay, now we want to insert some content in this table. All right, so insert some content, data. In your new table, like this. All right, so the command is called insert. Insert into customers, you open a parenthesis and you have to indicate again, rewrite everything you wrote before. And if you don't remember, you will remember that you have it here on the left pane here. So customers, so we want the customer ID. The customer, we have last name, and then we want the customer, we have what, first name, last name, and then first name, yeah. And we want the customer, what do we have, email, and we want the customer phone number. And I remember putting phone NR, because if you have any typo, it's not going to work. Okay, so then you have to close the parenthesis, but it's not finished. Here you have to add values, that's why it's still red here. Values, and the values you want to put inside, now you need to use your imagination. Here I'm going to put just something, I don't know. Data, for instance, I don't know, Dina. Here we're going to put gmail.com. I don't know, example. Here, because it's voucher, we always have to insert some quotations, or else it's not going to take it. And what we want to add the phone number to, and this one too, we're going to get a 1 2 3 4 5 and 1, and then we close the parenthesis and we don't forget the semicolon. As long as it's not right, you have a problem. I think now it's good. Let me expand here too so I can see the end of my story here, and I hope it's gonna work. Let's try. We execute and it's red, something is missing. Unknown column customer. You see, if you forget, I wanted to show you that too. First name, when you make a typo, it's gonna come red. You see? Okay, once you have corrected your typo, you can execute again, just to show you that it's, SQL needs a lot of focus and a lot of practice. Okay, so now we have inserted something in our table, and we can go ahead and take a look at it again. And now we have our first customer. All right, insert some content, data, in your new table, like this. All right, so the command is called insert. Insert into customers. You open a parenthesis and you have to indicate again, rewrite everything you wrote before. And if you don't remember, you will remember that you have it here on the left pane here. So customers, so we want the customer ID. And we want the customer phone number. And I remember putting phone NR, because if you have any typo, it's not going to work. Okay, so then you have to close the parenthesis, but it's not finished. Here you have to add values, that's why it's still red here. Values, and the values you want to put inside, now you need to use your imagination. Here I'm going to put just something, I don't know. Data, for instance, gmail.com. Or example. Here, because it's voucher, we always have to insert some quotations, or else it's not going to take it. And what we want to add the phone number to, and then we close the parenthesis, and we don't forget the semicolon. Let me expand here too so I can see the end of my story here, and I hope it's gonna work. Let's try. We execute, and it's red. Something is missing. Unknown column customer. You see, if you forget, I wanted to show you that too. First name. When you make a typo, it's gonna come red. You see. Okay, once you have corrected your typo, you can execute again, just to show you that it's, SQL needs a lot of focus and a lot of practice. Okay, so now we have inserted something in our table, and we can go ahead and take a look at it again. And now we have our first customer. All right. Okay, now as you can see down here in the action output, I have added more content into our tables just to speed the process. You can put, any examples, in your table. The most important is just to know how. Okay, now let's select and see the number of customers. Now we have 5. These are really examples. I didn't know what to put. And now I have created a second table. Now we have table customers and orders. This is how I created the table orders, and I hope you remember that I said that we are doing it normalized. It means that the tables are going to have relationships. Let me close right here. The table orders is going to be related with the table customers. So let's see what we did here. So we have table orders now. So we have the order ID, and we have a customer ID, purchase date, and we have also a property date. And here we have a foreign key. Foreign key is like it's a secondary, like we have the primary and the secondary. So these two tables are going to be related. That's why we needed to insert a foreign key on the customer ID of the table customers. References customers, customer ID. I hope it makes sense for you. You remember as we created our table customers here with the customer ID, and this customer ID here in line 8 is going to be the one here in the table orders too. Okay, let's execute and create our table right here. And it comes green, so we created the table. Now when we refresh here, we have a new table. As you can see, we have the table customer now and the table orders. Okay, I hope you understood the story with the foreign key. It's very important to understand how it works. When you want to relate two tables, you need to add a foreign key constraint. Okay, now let's say, for instance, you want to add a new column to your table. First of all, here we are going to add, to view our table we just created. So select all. I hope you remember that. From this time, it's going to be orders. So you have to be awake when you do the SQL thing, or else I'm telling you, you're going to have a mess. So we execute, and we can see that we have created our table properly. Okay, now let's say we want to add a column. We want to add the order currency code. This is how I called it, order CC in my table orders. Okay, this is the command how you do it. You have to alter the table and add the name of this new column, and you add the property. Okay, now we execute that, and it worked. So if we go and take a look at our table, we have a new column added. So I execute, and I see that we have added this column here, the order CC. Now I don't like the placement, the location of my column here. I want to put it right behind the order purchase. yes, behind. So this is the way you move a column, moving a column inside a table orders. So alter table orders, modify the order CC voucher after order purchase. You have to put either before or after, and this time I want after. All right, so let's execute this one, huh? And now I think it worked. Now we can go and take a look at it again. And here the order CC is right behind the order purchase. Okay, I hope it makes sense for you so far. Now we want to insert some content also in the table orders as we did in the table customer. I hope you remember we took time to do that. All right, so now these are my data. I just put something random inside. I didn't know what to do. So these are examples. It's our first database. Okay, now to insert, it's the same thing as with the table customers, but you just get orders in it and you put the same, data. You put, the same properties and all these names, order ID, blah blah blah. You put them all and the values. Once you have the values, you can put them one at a time, like one line at a time, or you can put several lines at a time. Like here I have 5 lines. Okay, so I run and I see if it's gonna work. Hopefully it's here. Okay, it worked. Okay, now let's go and take a look at our table. I don't want to retype select all from orders. I'm gonna go get it from here. And here we have all this data inserted in our tables. All right, this is how it works. And of course, all the time you have to make sure you refresh so that you can see here the names of your tables. This is our DB tutor, as you can see, customers and orders. This is what we have created with all the columns. And see here down here in this little window down here, you have the schema. So if you don't remember the properties, you can always come and take a look here. You see by the information, you have the date, you have everything you need. Okay, and as I told you, if you don't know how to create tables and stuff like that, you have no idea how it works, you can always come here. They already have some database created, but it's better to know how to do it yourself. All right, so once you are finished, because I think it's enough for the session of today, the matters is that you have to go and save your work. So you go by tab file and you want to save as, and we want to call it as we have called our tuto, and this is very important, db tuto 1. db tuto 1, and I'm gonna save it in my SQL folder. Save. And we are good for next time. What I'm going to do next time is that I'm going to create 2 more tables off camera to insert them in our file, in our new database, so that we can start our first function. We are going to start with the function view. All right, you all. I hope you like it so far. As I said before, this is an important programming language to know if you want to move on in data science field. It's very important. And yes, thank you for watching. The rest is coming next if God's willing. Bye bye.